Memorial Day is a federal holiday observed in the United States on the last Monday of May each year. It is a day dedicated to honoring and remembering the men and women who have died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. The primary purpose of Memorial Day is to pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of their country and to acknowledge the tremendous courage and selflessness displayed by these individuals. Originally known as Decoration Day, Memorial Day's roots can be traced back to the years following the American Civil War. After the war, various communities across the country began holding commemorative events to honor fallen soldiers by decorating their graves with flowers, flags, and other symbolic items. The practice gradually gained popularity, and in 1971, Memorial Day became an official federal holiday. On Memorial Day, people participate in various activities to honor the fallen. These include visiting cemeteries and memorials to pay respects, attending memorial services and parades, and displaying the American flag at half-staff until noon. Many people also take the opportunity to spend time with family and friends, enjoying picnics, barbecues, and other gatherings, while also reflecting on the sacrifices made by servicemen and servicewomen throughout history. It's important to note that Memorial Day is distinct from Veterans Day, which is celebrated in November and pays tribute to all veterans, living and deceased, who have served in the U.S. military. Memorial Day, in contrast, specifically focuses on remembering and honoring those who lost their lives in service to their country. The history of Memorial Day dates back to the aftermath of the American Civil War. The Civil War, which lasted from 1861 to 1865, resulted in the deaths of a significant number of soldiers from both the Union and Confederate sides. In the years following the war, communities in various parts of the country began to organize tributes and gatherings to honor and remember the fallen soldiers. One of the earliest instances of this commemoration took place in Charleston, South Carolina. On May 1, 1865, just a few weeks after the end of the Civil War, a group of freed slaves and other residents, including teachers and missionaries, organized a ceremony to properly bury Union soldiers who had died as prisoners of war. They decorated the soldiers' graves and held a procession in their honor. This event, known as the First Decoration Day, marked the beginning of what would eventually become Memorial Day. In subsequent years, similar memorial events began to take place in different parts of the country. Various communities and states set aside specific days to decorate the graves of fallen soldiers. These events were often referred to as Decoration Day and were typically observed in the springtime. The exact origins of the name Memorial Day are unclear, but the term gained wider usage over time. In 1868, General John A. Logan, the national commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, an organization of Union veterans, officially declared May 30th as Decoration Day. This date was chosen because it did not coincide with any significant battle anniversary and was considered convenient for organizing memorial ceremonies. The first National Decoration Day was observed on May 30th, 1868, when flowers were placed on the graves of Union and Confederate soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. The observance of Decoration Day continued to spread across the United States, with more states adopting the holiday. After World War I, the holiday evolved to honor the fallen soldiers from all American wars, not just the Civil War. In 1971, Memorial Day became a federal holiday and its observance was moved to the last Monday in May as part of the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, providing a 3-day weekend for Americans. Today, Memorial Day is a significant national holiday in the United States. It is a time for Americans to remember and pay tribute to the men and women who have died while serving in the U.S. Armed Forces. The holiday is marked by ceremonies, parades, and the decoration of graves with flags and flowers. It also serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made by servicemen and servicewomen throughout the nation's history. Memorial Day is typically celebrated in various ways to honor and remember the fallen soldiers. Here are some common ways in which people celebrate Memorial Day. Visiting cemeteries and memorials. Many people visit cemeteries to pay respects to fallen soldiers by placing flowers, flags, or other symbolic items on their graves. Some communities organize memorial ceremonies or services at local memorials or military cemeteries, where people can gather to honor the sacrifices made by servicemen and servicewomen. Participating in parades. Memorial Day parades are organized in many cities and towns across the United States. These parades often feature military units, veterans organizations, marching bands, and community groups. They provide an opportunity for people to come together, show their support for the military, and pay tribute to those who have given their lives in service. Flying the American flag. It is common to display the American flag on Memorial Day. The flag is often flown at half-staff until noon, symbolizing respect for the fallen. After noon, the flag is raised to full staff, representing the resilience and determination of the nation. Observing a moment of silence. At 3 p.m. local time on Memorial Day, a national moment of remembrance is observed. People are encouraged to pause and reflect on the sacrifices made by the fallen soldiers and to honor their memory. Participating in community events. Many communities organize events and activities to commemorate Memorial Day. These can include concerts, picnics, barbecues, and sports tournaments. These gatherings provide an opportunity for families and friends to come together, enjoy each other's company, and remember the significance of the holiday. Supporting veterans and military families. Memorial Day is also a time to support and show appreciation for living veterans and their families. People may volunteer at veterans organizations, donate to charities that support veterans and their families, or participate in events that honor and recognize their contributions. It's important to note that while Memorial Day is a time for celebration and community, it is primarily a day of remembrance and reflection. The focus is on honoring the sacrifices made by those who have lost their lives while serving in the military and expressing gratitude for their service to the country.